Imagine waking up every day feeling trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, stress, and fear. You might think these negative thoughts come from the world around you, from circumstances beyond your control. But what if I told you they don't? What if the real battle isn't with the outside world, but with your own mind? Your mind is your battleground. Every day a war rages between your fears and your potential. Negative thoughts whisper, "You're not good enough. You'll fail. Why even try?" But Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. It's time to take back control. The doubts, the fears, the worst-case scenarios running through your mind. These are stories you tell yourself, illusions that keep you stuck. But here's the truth. You have the power to break free. Negative thinking isn't truth. It's resistance. It's fear disguised as logic. But here's the secret. The moment you act, you silence the doubt. Every step forward, every risk taken, kills the negativity trying to hold you back. The longer you wait, the louder the fear grows. The only way to shut it down is to move. Hesitation feeds negativity, but action destroys it. You don't need to feel confident. You need to take the first step. Doubt will not disappear before you begin. It disappears because you begin. Your thoughts don't define you. Your actions do. Kill your negative thinking, not with overanalyzing, not with waiting for the perfect moment, but with movement. I know because I've been there. I spent years haunted by negativity, believing I was powerless against it. Then I discovered Stoic philosophy and everything changed. By applying 8 practical techniques inspired by the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, I learned how to take control of my thoughts and silence the negativity. Now I want to share them with you. Together, we'll uncover how to dismantle the mental barriers that hold you back and unlock the strength, clarity, and peace you've been searching for. The journey to inner mastery starts now. Are you ready? Number 1, understanding negative thinking, its origins and underlying causes. Negative thinking is a deeply ingrained mental habit, not merely a fleeting emotion. It shapes how people perceive reality, dictating their actions, reactions, and even their sense of self-worth. Negative thoughts are more than fleeting moments of doubt or sadness. They are a mental state that can take hold, spread, and shape every aspect of life. These thoughts, often silent yet persistent, whisper that you are not good enough, undeserving, or that everything will inevitably fall apart. Left unchecked, they can evolve into a self-destructive habit, holding back true potential and clouding judgment. The mind left unchecked becomes a battlefield where past failures, self-doubt, and imagined fears dominate. This is not a conscious choice, but a learned response, an accumulation of experiences, disappointments, and cultural conditioning. When negative thoughts arise, they do not represent truth. They reflect a pattern of thinking that has been reinforced over time. The more one surrenders to these thoughts, the stronger they become, like a path worn into the ground from years of repeated steps. Stoic philosophy provides profound insights into this struggle. As Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." The real problem is not external events, but how we interpret them. A minor setback may morph into, "I am a failure," a casual remark into, "They despise me," and an ordinary bad day into, "My life is hopeless." These thoughts are not rooted in reality, but in a distorted perception of it. Imagine standing before an audience, about to give a speech. As people fill the room, tension rises. Your heartbeat quickens, palms sweat, and suddenly a flood of negative thoughts overtakes you. I will mess up. They will laugh at me. I am not good enough. Though irrational, these whispers feel overwhelmingly real, undermining confidence before a single word is spoken. This is the insidious nature of negative thinking. It creeps in silently, eroding confidence and crushing the spirit. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, negative thoughts are like weeds. If left unchecked and unremoved, they will spread, overtaking and destroying the garden of the mind. However, it is within our power to cultivate a healthier mental landscape. Instead of succumbing to negativity, take a deep breath and affirm, "I am prepared. I can do this. This is an opportunity to grow." With patience and practice, the mind can become a place where confidence and calmness thrive instead of fear and doubt. The weight of negative thinking can be likened to an anchor, one that drags you down when faced with challenges, leaving you feeling helpless and defeated before you even begin. It fuels self-doubt, stifling opportunities for success. When you believe you cannot, your mind seeks evidence to confirm that belief, disregarding all positive possibilities. Yet, as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, all is as thinking makes it so, and you control your thinking. Recognizing this power requires becoming an observer of your own thoughts, separating truth from assumption. The next time negativity arises, ask yourself, is this really true, or am I distorting reality? Logical reflection can break the cycle of false assumptions. Beyond self-awareness, Stoicism advocates for replacing negative thoughts with rational, constructive ones. Instead of thinking, I will fail, reframe it as, I am prepared, and if I make mistakes, I will learn from them. This is not about blind optimism, but about reshaping thoughts to reflect reality rather than fear. But have you ever considered whether your negative thoughts truly come from within, or are they shaped by external forces? Number 2, how society and culture shape negative thought patterns. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. These words highlight a fundamental truth about human nature. Much of our suffering comes from the way we perceive events rather than the events themselves. Society and culture play a significant role in shaping these perceptions, subtly embedding fear, doubt, and self-criticism into our minds. From an early age, we are conditioned to seek approval, conform to societal norms, and measure our worth by external standards. The relentless pursuit of success, wealth, and perfection creates a world where failure is unacceptable and self-worth is tied to achievements. Over time, this pressure leads to an internal dialogue of negativity. I am not good enough. I must do more. What if I fail? Drowning out our ability to see reality for what it truly is. Albert Einstein, a man whose genius shaped the modern world. In his early years, he struggled academically, with some teachers even labeling him as slow and incapable of success. Had he accepted society's judgment of him, he might have abandoned his curiosity and potential. Instead, he rejected those external voices, proving that intelligence is not always measured by conventional standards. Imagine if Einstein had given in to self-doubt, believing that because he did not fit the mold of a successful student, he was destined to fail. Society often tells us that if we do not conform, we cannot succeed, but history repeatedly proves otherwise. What about me? How often have I let societal expectations dictate my thoughts, allowing fear to hold me back from taking risks? How many times have I hesitated, not because I lacked ability, but because I feared judgment, failure, or rejection? If I stripped away the expectations of the world, social status, material success, the constant need for validation, would I still see myself the same way? Or would I finally understand that my worth is not defined by external approval, but by my own inner strength? These are questions I must confront every day. The power of negative thinking fueled by societal influence is not limited to individuals. It is a collective phenomenon. The media, advertising, and social structures feed on insecurity, constantly reminding us of what we lack. We are bombarded with messages that equate happiness with wealth, attractiveness, and status. The result? A culture of dissatisfaction, where people chase ideals that are often unattainable. When a person feels they do not measure up to these artificial standards, negative thought patterns become deeply ingrained, reinforcing feelings of failure and inadequacy. This is not an accident, it is by design. In a world that profits from insecurity, self-doubt becomes a commodity, shaping the way people perceive themselves and their place in society. The only way to break free from this cycle is to recognize it for what it is, an illusion. Society's expectations are not absolute truths. They are merely narratives created and reinforced over time. The Stoics believe that true power lies in controlling our thoughts and responses rather than external circumstances. Perhaps the key to overcoming negative thinking is not to change the world, but to change how we see ourselves within it. Number 3, fear is a barrier, overcoming it to regain control. Imagine standing before a room full of people, your hands clammy, heart pounding. The words you practiced over and over suddenly seem distant. What if I stumble? What if they judge me? Fear wraps around you like a heavy chain, keeping you frozen. But then, you take a deep breath and begin. One word, then another. The fear doesn't vanish instantly, but with each sentence, its grip weakens. By the time you finish, a realization dawns. The true obstacle was never fear itself, but your own hesitation. And in that moment, you take back control. Fear is a powerful force that can grip the mind, paralyze decisions, and create an illusion of helplessness. It whispers doubts, magnifies risks, and convinces people that failure is inevitable before they even begin. The weight of fear is not always loud and obvious. Sometimes it creeps in quietly, shaping thoughts and actions in ways that limit growth. It can make opportunities seem like threats, turn ambition into hesitation, and leave dreams abandoned before they ever have a chance to take flight. But fear is not just a barrier, it is also a teacher. It reveals the areas of life where growth is most needed. The discomfort that fear brings is often a signal, a sign that something significant is at stake. Yet instead of being seen as a guide, it is often misunderstood as a stop sign. People get trapped in cycles of avoidance, mistaking temporary relief for permanent safety. But real safety doesn't come from avoidance. It comes from developing the strength to face what once seemed insurmountable. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Fear thrives in the mind, creating worst-case scenarios that rarely happen. We anticipate failure, rejection, or embarrassment before anything even occurs. But when we finally face our fears, we often realize they were exaggerated illusions. Stoicism teaches us to challenge these thoughts, focus on what we can control, and take action despite uncertainty. The moment we stop letting imagined fears dictate our actions, we reclaim our freedom. The mind plays a crucial role in either reinforcing or dismantling fear. When fear dictates choices, it builds walls that keep people confined to familiar territory. But the mind is adaptable, capable of shifting perspectives. The moment a person challenges their fearful thoughts, questioning whether the perceived danger is real or just a mental projection, they begin to weaken its grip. This shift in thinking is the first step toward reclaiming control. It's not about erasing fear entirely, but learning to move forward despite it. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the ability to act in spite of it. The most transformative moments in life often happen when fear is present, but does not dictate the outcome. Taking small steps, confronting discomfort, and proving to oneself that fear does not have the final say is how resilience is built. Every time a fear-based limitation is broken, confidence grows, and the mind becomes more conditioned to embrace challenges rather than avoid them. Overcoming fear is not about being fearless. It's about refusing to let fear make decisions. It's about recognizing that control is not lost but temporarily surrendered, and with conscious effort, it can be regained. Fear will always exist, but it doesn't have to be in charge. The choice is always there, to shrink or to rise, to be held back or to push forward, to exist in the shadows of fear or to step boldly into the light of possibility. Number 4, reshaping your mindset, philosophical insights and practical strategies. Your mind is shaped by the thoughts you entertain daily. If you allow negativity to dominate, it becomes your reality. But here's the truth. Your thoughts are not absolute. They are interpretations shaped by perspective. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The key to reshaping your mindset lies in this realization. You are not at the mercy of what happens to you, but of how you choose to see it. When you shift your focus from what you cannot control to what you can, you begin to take charge of your inner world. Philosophy offers timeless wisdom on how to reframe your thinking. The Stoics practice premeditatio malorum, visualizing potential challenges not to dwell in fear, but to prepare their minds. Instead of seeing obstacles as threats, you can view them as opportunities for growth. Imagine facing rejection, and instead of thinking, "I'm not good enough," you tell yourself, "This is a lesson. I will improve and try again." This mental shift doesn't erase difficulties, but it strengthens your resilience. allowing you to face hardships with confidence rather than despair. Practical strategies bring these insights to life. One powerful technique is cognitive distancing, stepping back and questioning the validity of your thoughts. Just because a thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's true. If you catch yourself thinking, "I always fail," challenge it. Do I really? Or have I succeeded before, but chosen to ignore it? Writing down your negative thoughts and countering them with rational responses helps you break the cycle of self-sabotage. When you take control of your inner dialogue, you weaken negativity's grip on your mind. Another essential practice is shifting your focus from outcomes to effort. Too often you measure success by results alone, but Stoic wisdom teaches that fulfillment lies in the process. Epictetus reminds us, "Do what you must. Let happen what may." Instead of fearing failure, embrace action. If you're afraid to start something new, don't obsess over whether it will be perfect. Just focus on taking the first step. With each step forward, fear loses its hold and growth takes its place. The power of reshaping your mindset lies in consistency. A single moment of positive thinking won't transform your life, but repeated efforts will. Like training a muscle, strengthening your mind requires patience and discipline. The more you challenge negative thoughts, embrace obstacles as learning experiences, and focus on what you can control, the more resilient you become. Over time, the storm of self-doubt fades, replaced by a sense of inner strength that no external force can shake. Number 5, the power of environment and relationships in shaping thoughts. Your thoughts are not formed in isolation. They are deeply influenced by the environment you live in and the people you surround yourself with. Every conversation you engage in, every piece of media you consume, and every interaction you experience shapes the way you see yourself and the world. If you constantly hear negativity, criticism, or fear, your mind absorbs it, and over time, it becomes your internal dialogue. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, warned, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." The company you keep can either elevate your mindset or drag you into a cycle of doubt and negativity. There was a time in my life when I found myself trapped in a cycle of doubt, constantly second-guessing my abilities. It wasn't until I looked around that I realized the people I surrounded myself with were feeding this negativity. Friends who only spoke of limitations, family members who saw risks as dangers rather than opportunities, and an environment that rewarded staying safe over taking chances. It all shaped my thinking without me even noticing. Then I met someone who challenged this mindset, a mentor who refused to accept self-doubt as truth, who pushed me to see beyond fear. "Why not you?" they asked one day. That question stuck with me. It made me rethink the invisible boundaries I had accepted. Changing my environment and the voices I listened to didn't just change my thoughts, it changed my entire path. Relationships play an equally powerful role in shaping your mental state. If you are constantly surrounded by individuals who belittle your ideas, dismiss your goals, or radiate negativity, it becomes harder to believe in yourself. Stoicism teaches the importance of emotional resilience, but it also recognizes that not all relationships are worth keeping. Epictetus reminds us, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." If someone continuously drains your energy, it might be time to create distance and seek connections that support your growth. But what if you cannot change your surroundings immediately? The Stoics teach that while you cannot always control your external world, you can control how you engage with it. If negativity surrounds you, practice mental distancing. Choose what you internalize and what you let go. Curate your influences by being mindful of what you watch, read, and listen to. Seek wisdom, knowledge, and inspiration. Transform your immediate space, no matter how small, into a place that fuels your mind with clarity and purpose. The power of your environment and relationships should never be underestimated. If you want to change your mindset, start by evaluating what surrounds you. Are your surroundings building you up or breaking you down? Are the people in your life encouraging your growth or stifling it? The road to a stronger, more resilient mind begins with these choices, and the best part? You have control over them. Number 6, taking action, the cornerstone of virtuous living in Stoicism. Taking action is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. It is not enough to merely possess wisdom or understand virtue. True character is revealed through deeds. The Stoics believe that knowledge without action is useless, and that a virtuous life is built on the consistent practice of courage, justice, temperance, and wisdom. To delay action due to fear, doubt, or external circumstances is to betray one's own potential. Life demands movement, and the Stoic path is one of active engagement with the world, where philosophy is not just studied, but lived. The Stoics understood that obstacles and hardships are inevitable, but they did not see them as excuses for inaction. Instead, they viewed challenges as opportunities to exercise virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote that obstacles do not block the path, they are the path. Every difficulty, every setback is a chance to cultivate resilience, discipline, and moral strength. The key is to act despite uncertainty, to move forward with purpose, and to transform adversity into growth. Stoic philosophy asserts that action is the foundation that transforms thought into reality. Action is the bridge between who we are now and the ideal version of ourselves that we aspire to become. We cannot merely talk about virtue, we must live it through our daily choices. It is action that shapes who we are and defines our lives. In Stoic philosophy, action is not merely physical movement, but intentional decisions aligned with core values such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. When faced with negative thoughts, we cannot simply sit idle, waiting for change to come from the outside. Instead, we must act, a silent yet powerful declaration that we matter and that we are capable of overcoming challenges. Confronting negative thinking requires determination and persistence. It is action that builds confidence and inner strength. Consider a struggling artist who constantly doubts their talent, believing they will never succeed. They could allow these thoughts to consume them, letting fear and hesitation take control. But instead, they choose action. Every day, they dedicate time to practicing their craft, refining their skills, and putting their work out into the world, despite the fear of criticism. Over time, their efforts pay off, not just in artistic improvement, but in self-belief. The negative thoughts that once held them back lose their power, replaced by the confidence gained through consistent effort. So, when negative thoughts threaten to take over your mind, remember that you can control them by choosing the right actions. Don't let unworthy thoughts dictate your life. Once we understand the importance of action, let us explore another transformative power of Stoic philosophy, the power of words. Words, when used wisely, can uplift the soul, ignite hope, and help us manage emotions with subtlety. This is the element that bridges action with thought, bringing us closer to an ideal life. Number 7, cultivating awareness, breaking free from automatic negative thinking. Cultivating awareness is the first step in breaking free from automatic negative thinking. Often, negative thoughts arise without our conscious control, shaping our emotions and actions before we even realize it. You may find yourself trapped in a cycle of self-doubt, anxiety, or pessimism, reacting to situations based on old patterns rather than present reality. Awareness disrupts this cycle, allowing you to observe your thoughts without immediately believing or acting on them. When you become aware of your inner dialogue, you gain the power to question its validity. Not every thought is true, and many negative ones are simply echoes of past fears or societal conditioning. Instead of accepting these thoughts as reality, you can challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or just my perception? By analyzing your thoughts objectively, you start to weaken their grip on your mind. Practicing mindfulness is a powerful tool in this process. By staying present, you create distance between yourself and your thoughts, preventing them from automatically dictating your emotions. Mindfulness techniques, such as meditation or deep breathing, help ground you in the present moment, making it easier to detach from negative narratives. With time, you develop the ability to observe thoughts as passing events rather than absolute truths. Another key strategy is consciously reframing negative thoughts. When your mind jumps to the worst-case scenario, pause and consider alternative perspectives. Instead of thinking, "I always fail," remind yourself, "I have succeeded before, and I am capable of learning from mistakes." This shift in thinking gradually rewires your brain, making positive and balanced thoughts more natural. Breaking free from automatic negative thinking is not about suppressing thoughts, but about transforming your relationship with them. By cultivating awareness, practicing mindfulness, and challenging negative patterns, you reclaim control over your mind. Instead of being ruled by unconscious negativity, you learn to guide your thoughts with intention, fostering a more resilient and empowered mindset. Number 8, harnessing the power of words for transformation and growth. Words shape reality. The way we speak to ourselves and to others can either build or destroy, uplift or cripple, inspire or discourage. The Stoics understood the immense power of language, not just as a tool for communication, but as a force that influences thought, perception, and action. What we say becomes what we believe, and what we believe dictates how we live. To harness the power of words is to take control of one's mind and ultimately one's destiny. Self-talk is where transformation begins. If the mind is filled with words of doubt, fear, and limitation, those thoughts manifest in actions or inaction. A person who constantly tells themselves they are not capable will find evidence to support that belief, shrinking from challenges instead of rising to meet them. But the reverse is also true. Words of strength and resilience create a mindset that seeks solutions, embraces hardship, and refuses to be defeated. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That power starts with language. Beyond self-talk, words influence the world around us. How we speak to others shapes relationships, opportunities, and the energy we attract. A Stoic does not waste words on complaints, gossip, or empty flattery. They use language with intention, to educate, to encourage, to bring clarity and wisdom. Harsh words spoken in anger cannot be undone. Careless speech can create conflict where none needed to exist. But words spoken with wisdom have the power to heal, to motivate, to create change. True mastery of language requires discipline. It is easy to react emotionally, to speak without thinking, to let words flow unchecked. But power is found in restraint, in choosing words that align with virtue and purpose. Seneca reminds us that speech shows the character of the speaker. If we wish to grow, our language must reflect that growth. If we seek transformation, our words must first change. Growth is not just about action, but about the words that guide those actions. A mind filled with strong, purposeful language creates a life of strength and purpose. By harnessing the power of words, we reshape our reality, first in thought, then in speech, and finally in action. Words are not just sounds, they are the foundation of the life we choose to build. As we wrap up, remember that negative thinking isn't just a habit, it's a mindset that can be reshaped. Every thought you entertain has the power to either build you up or hold you back. The techniques we've explored, mindfulness, reframing, and intentional action, aren't just theories. They're tools you can use daily to take control of your mind. The more you practice, the stronger you become. Now I want to hear from you. What negative thought patterns have you struggled with, and which technique resonated with you the most? Drop a comment below and share your journey. Your story might inspire someone else who needs to hear it. If this video added value to your life, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend, a family member, or anyone who might benefit from breaking free of negative thinking. Let's create a ripple effect of positivity and empowerment. And of course, if you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe for more content like this, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. Thank you for being part of this journey. Keep pushing forward, and I'll see you in the next one.